Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about whether or not the Rally Armor mud flaps are worth the $175 investment, and kind of we're doing a long-term review. Before we get into this review, guys, if you want to see more WRX or automotive content, please consider subscribing to my channel and hitting that little notification bell so you know when I post videos. And look, a lot of you guys watch my videos and you know exactly how I feel about these Rally Armor mud flaps. So what I'm going to do in this long-term review, before I say this, I'm not sponsored in any way by them, or I have not communicated at all. I bought them on Amazon from probably a retailer, actually. But regardless, in this video, I'm going to use two things to convince you to put Rally Armor mud flaps on your car. And what's cool is you see a lot of people kind of going along with this, even when they don't like Rally Armor mud flaps. There's a couple YouTubers out there that put them on for the same reason as me. So the first reason, and I think the reason that is most important before we actually get outside this car and look at what they've done visually, the most important reason to buy the Rally Armor mud flaps is to protect your paint. I think if you look at WRX enthusiasts as a whole, especially ones that understand these cars and understand the characteristics of how the all-wheel drive system works, how the tires work, and how the wheel wells are designed in these cars, you get a heck of a lot of kick up. For those of you that own WRXs that have never been on a dirt road, and for those of you that don't own WRXs that have never been in a WRX on a dirt road, I suggest doing it, and it's definitely a good learning experience. But after driving it, you'll probably get 30 yards, especially if you're, if you're going quick, you won't get that far. But if you're going, 20 miles an hour, 30 miles an hour, you're going to get like 30 yards before quickly stopping the car, getting out of the car, and being like, what have I done to my paint? And that's because these kit cars are notorious, and they're not just notorious, I've seen it many a time. They kick up so much stuff from the road, so much crap, and all it does is it leaves your wheel well, especially in the front wheels, even on the rear wheels, and it just scores your paint. And without further ado, I'm pretty sure I can convince you guys of this. So I do a lot of highway driving, and on the highway there seems to be a lot of rubber, chemical crap, all types of stuff that's really weird, tar, kind of that kind of thing. And I think I could show you in about 10 seconds why these are a great investment. So let's go take a look at my mud flaps right now. And as you can see on the mud flap, it's dirty as hell. And you may ask, why don't you clean your mud flaps? And my answer is gonna be I do, but I don't scrape it with like a tar scraper or like, something like that. As you can see, there's actually a lot of black tar, rubber, and just some type of chemically composed crap or plastic all over those things. And it's like this on all of my mud flaps. And I've got to say, like, the big thing here is that that's not on my car or in my wheel well, it's on the mud flap. And my mud flap's catching it. I've actually done a scrape before, but I think like if you do a ton of highway driving, you'll notice this. I think a lot of other cars have a much larger wheel gap and a lot more area in their wheel well, and that's why they don't catch a lot of this. I began to notice this when I first owned the car on the sides. So I looked online. I'd always been interested in Rally Armor mud flaps because I like the way they look on the car. I think it makes the car look a little bit more aggressive, but I needed some practical fix, and I quickly did it, and I don't regret it one bit. It was the best money I've ever spent on this car. Let me put a little asterisk there. I haven't spent a ton of money on this car yet, so there could be things that are worth more than that, but it's going to save you a lot of pain. It's going to save you a lot of stuff. That's the first reason to buy these. Number 2 on our list, and I think this is a quick one because you're either going to hate them or love them, and it's the visual aesthetic appeal of the Rally Armor mud flaps and what it does to the car. I personally think it changes the look of the car quite a lot. It makes the car a lot more aggressive. It kind of stances the side of the car, especially if you plan on upgrading your wheels, which I do, to something a little bit more aggressive, something that's going to poke out a little bit. I think it's a key part in doing that. So versus walking you around the car now, I think it's important to see the car kind of like in images and still images so you can kind of get an idea, take a second to look at it. I'm going to throw up a couple of images of what my car looked like prior to the mud flaps. I actually don't have a lot of them because I did this so quickly. So let's play a few right now. As you can see, it's not super aggressive. Like, it doesn't look terrible, but you can tell that it kind of looks plain, especially around the wheels. And let's quickly here go straight to pictures of the mud flaps. I'm just going to start rolling pictures during this video. Some of these are from my Instagram, some of them I've taken for thumbnails, that kind of thing. And I think a lot of us can agree that it does change the car. It's not a huge difference. It's not radical, but I mean, it looks pretty darn good. And I think, like, I'm pleasantly surprised with the look, and I'm pleasantly surprised with how much it changed the car. And that for 170, let's just say 170, and on top of that, something that's gonna give me a lot of aesthetic gain and kind of like really make this car a little bit more aggressive, make it a little bit wider. I just think it has a different profile because of these mud flaps. And you know, for you guys that own them, for you guys that are interested, drop in the comments any questions you have. I'd love to hear some owner testimonials. Why did you guys put them on your car? That kind of thing. Please feel free to share anything that you want here. And yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for sticking through.